New facility that helps families of local hospital patients is set to open in January.
And WGEM Shakayla McCamick has more information tonight on Quincy's new hospitality home. Hello, Shakayla.
Yes, Mackenzie, the community gathered for a ribbon-cutting ceremony unveiling the new Teresa Adams House. Officials say this multi-million-dollar upgrade was needed because the original Quincy Hospitality House wasn't designed for people with disabilities. Karen Diekoff is one of the founders of the original Quincy Hospitality House. She sat on the board in 1993 and helped plan what the first house would embody. Now, at the unveiling of the newest home, she gets to reflect on the progress made in 3 decades.
We just dreamed of having a place like this for this long. And so this day is just a great culmination of many, many, many people working.
The Teresa Adams House, which was built on land donated by Blessing Health, is named after the Quincy native, who officials say was a symbol of home and comfort in the tri-state's healthcare system. Her husband, Kent Adams, says she would be thrilled about the new facility.
It's just incredible.
The new Teresa Adams House offers more handicap accessibility opportunities, with guests being able to roll their wheelchairs straight into the building instead of having to navigate steps. The original hospitality home, located on Oak Street, has stairs that all visitors are forced to take to enter. The new building offers 2 wheelchair entrances. All 8 rooms in the facility are wheelchair accessible, with 2 queen beds in each and roll-in showers.
If you ever have had a loved one that that's been under care and you need a place to be able to stay, just to have that nap or have a shower, have a little bit of something to eat, you know that it makes such a difference for them as caregivers to be able to go back and handle whatever they need to for that loved one.
Teresa Adams House staff says there are no age restrictions on who can stay at the home, but they are looking for some more volunteers before they allow lodging at the home after January 1st. You can find that application form and a map of the new facility on our website, WGEM.com. Shakayla McCamick, WGEM News.
All right, thank you, Shakayla. And the Teresa Adams House will serve those receiving inpatient and outpatient care at Blessing Hospital or any medical doctor's or dentist's office in the surrounding area. And the team says they'll also serve families visiting local nursing homes, funerals, or anyone visiting the Illinois Veterans Home. Cost is $40 per night, but grants are available to those who are unable to pay.